If you're having coffee with me, I'd welcome you to my tangle of words and ask you to feel at home. Have some cornflakes. How do you take yours? With hot milk or cold milk? As I struggle to finish my cup of cornflakes, I would ask you how you feel about cornflakes. I asked on the platform formerly known as Twitter how people rate cornflakes, and the majority of people who responded did not care much for the breakfast cereal. I was glad to see I wasn't the only one who found them to be rather tasteless. Nothing is wrong with my taste buds. If you're having coffee with me, I'll tell you that cornflakes were invented in 1894 by John Harvey Kellogg, a doctor and health reformer who ran Battle Creek Sanitarium in Battle Creek, Michigan, USA. The cereal was created as a way to provide a simple and nutritious meal for patients at the sanitarium. The cornflakes were purposely made to be bland tasting. Kellogg believed that eating plain and bland food would prevent indigestion and also suppress sexual desires, which he considered unhealthy and sinful. The present-day version of cornflakes would probably have John Kellogg turning in his grave. He had patented his recipe after a legal dispute with his brother, who had wanted to add sugar to the cereal to make it more palatable for a mass market. So there you have it. If you think cornflakes taste like cardboard, it's because the recipe evolved from a bland ideology. If you're having coffee with me, I'll tell you that back in boarding school, we tried creative ways to make cornflakes tastier, like adding peanut butter, crushed biscuits, fruit jam, and any other snack you had. Sometimes it worked, other times it was horrible. We also made up a word, confafa, which initially described the confused cereal goulash and then later evolved to describe a state of confusion. Confafa is the confusion which results in chaos. It's like when you make a U-turn, then make another U-turn, you're not going anywhere except round in circles. That's confafa. It can also be used to describe political turncoats who change affiliations as if they're changing socks depending on which side their bread is buttered. If you're having coffee with me, I'll tell you that fans of some local artists feel disappointed in their decision to support or endorse the current ruling party, especially those who had previously seemed more aligned to the struggles of the common man, as illustrated in the track Ndaremerwa by Holy Ten, where he rapped about the struggles of trying to make it in a world that never gave one a break, and all you yearned for was to have sausage for breakfast. If you were invited to join the president for breakfast, would you go? Can one turn down the president if they're invited to have cornflakes and sausage at the State House? If you're having coffee with me, I'll tell you that we have our presidential polls on Wednesday. It's crazy, but it doesn't feel like in the next few days we'll make a decision that will set the course for the next 5 years. One does not need a crystal ball to see who the people's choice will be. But of course, it's illegal to announce the results before they are officially declared, and the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, ZEC, has 5 days to announce the results. Not sure what they'll be doing for 5 days in this digital world. Anyway, you know what they say. It's not the voting that counts, it's the counting of the votes that counts. I ran into an interesting comment on the internet about how the candidate that constantly demands to see the voters' will and keeps citing constitutional irregularities rarely wins elections. A sample ballot paper was shared on the internet, and the curious layout makes for a fascinating tale. 11 presidential candidates with only one female candidate. But the real contest is between two contenders. And I would even guess that some candidates are simply there to maintain layout purposes. History shows that the current president favors the top right corner of the ballot paper. If you're having coffee with me, I'll tell you that the current electoral cycle has been largely peaceful, although there have been sporadic incidences of unrest. The streets have been safe to walk except for Friday evening when there was a spot of temple run. Apparently, unruly police recruits were beating people in the city, and the police are investigating the incident, which has led to 19 police recruits being arrested so far over the unruly conduct. If the Assistant Commissioner's statement is not a smokescreen to hide what really happened, then it's also a bit worrying as to the caliber of police and their professionality. What's been happening in your neck of the woods?